here. And we have several things to go over tonight and accomplish. And then I know we've got other things on tonight's agenda that are private and need to be moving on to. First off on our agenda is a conflict of interest statement. As the Surrey County Board of Elections, we have a duty to avoid conflicts or appearances of conflicts of interest. Does any board member have or any known conflict or of interest or any appearance of a conflict with respect to any matters coming before our board today? If so, please identify the conflict or appearance of conflict and refrain from any participation in the particular matter. Thank you. We have our meeting minutes from January the 5th, 2024 in our packet. Please take appropriate time to peruse and make changes or approval.
Did you have that phone number? You were looking for it earlier. Okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Motion to approve as presented, Mr. Chairman.
A second.
We have a motion and we have a second for the approval of our minutes coming from January the 5th, 2024. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Next on our agenda is the public forum portion of our meeting. Is there anyone present who wishes to participate in the public forum? Or is there anyone online? No one online. Last call. If no takers, I will close this portion of the public forum of our meeting. We will move to the absentee process for 2024 primary election.
Yes, you should all have like this, March 5th, 2024 primary election procedure for absentee ballot materials. I see a space, I should be in the back, but every election, we,
I think I have that.
you don't have one?
Mhm.
Might be why I have two up here, Drew. There you go. Actually, I
Happy
have
birthday,
three.
Drew.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Special delivery.
Anybody else need one? Because I have another one. Okay. Each election, we do list out the procedures for how absentee ballots will be looked over by the board, how the board wishes to do a random selection if that's what they wish to do. But this is an outline of what we have done in the past, except for some additions to include photo ID and things with to accommodate the new laws. And then the procedures, preliminary procedures that staff can do to prep for the meetings. That's number 2, delegation of preparatory work. Again, this is for the board to look over, see if this is how you all as a board want the meetings to go in reference to absentee ballots. And if so, you all can determine, see number 4 there, staff will randomly select blank absentee ballot envelopes. So that's up to the board. Today we have 7, so of course we will look at all 7. As long as we have low numbers, that will not be an issue. We can look at all. But if we have, you know, upwards of more than 20, we usually do a random selection of 20. But again, that's just what's been done in the past. So that's up for this board to vote on, and then majority, it's not a unanimous, it doesn't have to be a unanimous decision, it does have to be a majority decision for how the board wants to handle absentees in the meetings.
20's been the standard one we've used all the way back
It
for a while.
has. Mhm.
How common is it to get more than 20 in a month's time frame?
It'll be very common the closer we get, but very, very common. Our first meeting for the general in 2020 was a 7-hour meeting.
Okay,
Nothing but absentee ballots.
and
So,
A bucket full.
it sounds like it,
but general, of course, is different from the primary.
right?
But still, presidential, you will have more.
And we'll go through this same process again.
Each meeting,
general election.
once this, well, no, we'll adopt the process for the general.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
what,
this is just for the primary.
yeah, okay. That's what it is.
So, any changes, any things that are in this that have changed from 2020 or 2022 that's significant? Other than I know that there'd be things that have come out of the last year's legislature that would have
Right.
impacted this.
With sorting the ballots according to photo ID categories would be one difference. It's all one category today. But otherwise, you know, that's it. We have no cure certifications to consider today. We probably will in future meetings. That's not different though from 20 and 22. Actually, on number 8, written in that the word DUP will be written at the top of each duplicated ballot. Now, with the enhancement to electionware, actually the word duplicate is on the pre-printed ballots that you will remark. So that's the only thing that has changed since I did these instructions. But that's about it. And then one is a ballot caller, and the bipartisan team, one will be a ballot caller and one will be a ballot duplicator.
We still mark it out and write.
Still X and spoil and initial.
Same process there.
Same process there. And for Jimmy and Barbara, the only way a duplication by the board would be done is if a ballot is damaged, or it won't read in the scanner, or if it's a military or overseas who has submitted their ballot via email. because those are the only people that can. And so those will have to be remarked. And the 2 ballots today that are military, the board will have to remark those. They submitted it. One was through the portal, was both through the portal?
Portal and email, and then
Portal and
go
email.
back.
The one that came in last night was through the portal.
One time we only had one Republican board member here at one meeting and had to, that
Work to
one
death.
person had to
It
work.
was very busy.
Had to
Work today.
Well, usually when we've got everybody here, they need 2 teams.
I would
To
do
me.
that. I would do that too, I promise.
It'd be me or you and Jimmy and Clark or whoever, you know, but
right.
it's just one there that one day.
Yeah,
And there has been times in the past whenever you do have as Clark alluded, a bucket full for remarking duplication. And you've got the 2 teams and such that will work, one calling, one marking, that sometimes you get started on a ballot, both at the same time, starting at, say, the presidential, and you'll start calling out, and if you don't be extra careful, you'll start picking up the names from the other team that you really do need to be careful with, and that if they are misaligned, it works better, where the names for this particular candidacy does not match in with what you're doing over here with the other team.
a different ballot style.
Yeah, and I'm dating and approval.
Can't be bashful about where we sit and the way we turn. I can't because of my hearing, you know. Well, you have to be.
Yeah.
To get it right.
The only thing we have to be careful about when we're doing it is the number. We can't say the number out loud. You can say it lowly so it doesn't get picked up and people can figure out who that number is.
Right.
So you say that softly and then the rest of it can be, you know, whatever you like.
Or the
That's-
preference is to just point it
Yeah.
point it out
Yeah.
and compare it, because I'll write that number down
Okay.
before I give you the ballot to duplicate. But I'll just point so you all can verify that it matches the one you're duplicating, because that is confidential.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, absentee list, absentee poll books are confidential until election day. But if a ballot is in the absentee meeting, that name can actually be said because they have voted their ballot. But our practice has always been, we try our hardest we still try to keep that confidentiality with the voter's name as much as possible, especially in case the CIV number can be seen or can be heard. It's just best to not say the name. So if you see, and you will see the absentee list come around that each board member will need to sign, just refrain from commenting. If it's your brother, if it's whomever, just don't, refrain
Or
from
whoever.
commenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, or whoever.
And for good transparency, whenever we get into a good number of these things, it's good to just have things moved to the side, moved where the duplicate ballot that's being marked and the ballot that will be spoiled is the only 2 things. They're the only 2 things that's going to be there in front of you, and that you're working where that both caller and the recorder are able to see both ballots, and that you're working together with it. They're flat. You don't try not to hold it like that or anything, but put it where that they're side by side and that you work together on it.
And
Just a little
also,
tidbit.
this is common sense, but no comments about the candidate that the voter might have selected, of course.
What kind of volume of absentees have you had requested on this, for this primary?
We've had 97 today, which is low.
Based on history and experience, is it feasible during this primary process for absentee ballot review to look at all of them?
That's completely up to the board. That's the board's decision. If they want to look at all of them.
I mean, it
that's-
sounds like it would be a challenge during the general election because the volume is much
Mhm.
greater, but
Mhm.
with it being new with voter ID, if it's feasible, does it make sense to try to look at all of them?
I don't feel that there's a reason to. I mean, I don't know what there is to gain to do that.
That's why we hire the staff.
And I say that only in having done it before. That's
Why I'm asking.
Yeah. If there were anything to gain through that. In fact, I'm about to ask another question that may delegate even more to them, that may fly or may not. And it was the reason I asked the question about how many have we had requested. I know particularly in the general election, and I ask it because it may make more sense at a time when I may or may not be here. And that would be for the fall election. I noticed in reading the numbered memo, 2025 or 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2025. It's cumbersome when we get to the portion of signing off on the envelopes.
Mhm.
That's an ordeal, particularly for the chair.
Mhm.
I noticed in reading that memo that it's possible for staff to record all of those envelopes in a single sheet, and you would not have to do that. Now, you may prefer to do it that way, but I suspect that that would save a great deal of time in the process of that going around this table.
That's within the numbered memo.
With no more than's been requested here, I don't think that's an issue, but I suspect in the general election, that would be
Mhm.
a big time saver. Just a thought.
And I will say too, counties do this many different ways. The Surrey County has always approved and scanned the ballots at the same meeting that they're approved. Some counties only approve, hold the ballots until election day.
Like
I do not recommend that because I don't like
that's it.
that 6 weeks of custody of ballots that have not been put in the tabulator. Of course, we have measures in place, but still, I don't like that. I don't think personally that's a good practice. And two, election day is a busy day. So that meeting where the board opens and closes the early voting sites, that takes time. We have a lot to do in that absentee meeting. So, and having to scan every absentee ballot for the whole period just adds to the time that, it's just, there's other things that are also going on at that same time. So number 6 does say that absentee ballots will be scanned at the scheduled and noticed absentee meetings of the board. They will not be held and scanned until election day.
It takes a fair amount of time, Jimmy, to go into looking at all of them. If you have 20, it takes more time to go through 20 than you would think. There are a number of things that you look at on each one. And it's going to give you each person will look at each of them. What we typically do is 10 will go that way around the table. You're sitting in a place where
You're the pivot point.
and you have to be careful, especially sitting in that spot, because they can get crossed
Drew,
up down
Aren't
there.
you
And
happy?
Yeah.
That was Drew for a long time.
they can get crossed up, which ones have been
I would get
around one way and
confused.
which ones have not. But
Yeah, they get handed back
You've
to
been
me.
accused of that, have you, Drew?
what happens is in the course of going all the way around the table, you will catch things, little things, and it's just a good system. And that 20 gives us a good, I think it's been a good number in the past anyway. And it has worked well. I would be in favor of that. And the meeting, I think we'll find, goes long enough at that volume.
I'm sure.
So
This can be modified. Again, this is just a start point. And
is
the
it,
board can determine other ways and adjust this in any way you want.
But is this based on common practice?
For
Not only
sure.
what we've done in the past, but some of your colleagues and peers?
Yes,
Okay.
some counties, staff does the duplication.
We don't do anything
As long as,
other than just sign.
as long as hopefully I'm here and the board, and I have a decent relationship, I'm not comfortable with that. I think the board and the public should see the board duplicating that. So that's one major difference.
Just another step in the checks and balances, so
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah,
I think we already do a great deal more than a lot of boards do in a lot of counties,
Sounds like it.
particularly larger counties.
Oh, well, no doubt about that. I agree. Yeah.
and some smaller counties we've learned in the past few days.
Really.
Very interesting.
are there any of the bullet points that you have feelings that you want any changes to what has been tradition and also what is set by number of memos? Is there anything that you want to discuss here on any of this that you're not comfortable with? This is an excellent document that you're able to, it puts before us, and it says what we will do with consistency.
We need to state first how many ballots we're gonna look at and then look at the entire, the entirety of the,
Today we have
Or-
7.
no, I mean, do we state how many?
Oh, yeah.
Number
We
4.
need, yeah, how many
This
we
would
need to see
be-
first.
Yeah, it would be up to the board to determine that first, yeah.
Anytime you have 20, less than 20 or less, you'd look at all of them.
Mhm. And also.
Which in this
notice-
case is in all likelihood at every meeting we would be if, all of them.
Right, particularly during the primary.
Right.
Might, after about the next meeting, it might pick up, for the 3rd, 4th, 5th meeting.
Right.
And it will probably, that last meeting, the supplemental absentee before canvas will be a lengthy meeting because photo ID is going to be a potential to increase the number of provisionals at early voting that has not been there before. And so that will come before the board at that meeting. So that one will be a long one. But that one, you will look at every one except for the recommend approval provisionals that staff have done the research on. And you can randomly, pull some of those, but we do go over each and every provisional in that meeting. I did want to point out any recommend disapproval that staff have done, the board will view every single one of those at every meeting for deficiencies, and we'll point those out, and then you all will look at each and every disapproval. Recommend disapproval.
And that's not in the random number that we
Right.
draw. Is everyone comfortable with 20 being the threshold for random?
I'm comfortable with that.
I am.
I'd entertain a motion to accept the primary election procedure for absentee ballot materials for the 2024 primary
I'll make a motion
Second.
to adopt,
Go ahead.
make a motion to adopt the primary election procedure for absentee ballots for the primary leading up to March 5th, 2024.
Thank you. We have the motion now. I think we had most everybody just about jumping in. Who wants to be on record for it? Drew has seconded the motion. The motion is to adopt the primary election procedure for absentee ballot materials for the primary leading up to March 5th, 2024. Is there any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
No opposed? Is this the top? This copy?
Yeah, if you want to write, did you write in the 20? Okay, yep.
So let the votes start being counted for 2024 then.
That's right.
Is that my sister-in-law?
Yes, I gave it to Jimmy and told him she'd come by.
Huh.
I gave it to Jimmy and said, told her that she had come by.
Well, she told Carolyn she was going to.
Thank you. My mother-in-law thanks you also.
Well, she called Carolyn. I just know she's supposed to come by here today. Sometime.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so for this first meeting, we do have 7 ballots that have been returned okay, 5 civilian and 2 military. And that leaves 90 civilian that have not been returned. So 90 are still outstanding. So this is the statistic report. There's 3 copies. If I can get the board to sign somewhere down there on all 3 copies. And then this is the executed absentee list, 3 copies as well. You want to start it maybe that way, and that is just those ballots that we will be reviewing today
All three.
on all 3. So just below, sorry.
Yeah,
Just
just
below,
anywhere
yeah,
as
anywhere
long
in that area will be fine, lovely. And then I just thought this was interesting. It is different ballot styles. Like I said, we have 10. And this is the request that have come in for that ballot style. And the ones that have been okay, the numbers. I just thought that was
How
interesting.
many ballot styles are there?
10.
10.
Mhm.
It's a headache.
Primaries are fun, fun.
That tickles me for her.
And that's just for you to, no signatures, just
Amen for the choir.
Did Sydney tell you the deadline to end this meeting tonight? She she mentioned to you the deadline to end this meeting?
No,
You did, Dylan?
No,
Wait.
it's your birthday, you're at Carolina playing Carolina place.
I know.
At 7.
So we could get out here by 7.
Jerry, I know.
I'm a
Very
Carolina
well.
fan too, even though my grandkids went to state.
Yeah.
Well, he's state fan, so.
Well, I've got a granddaughter a junior at
Carolina.
NC State.
Oh, NC State.
I've got the granddaughter at NC State, a junior right now as well.
Yeah, she's majoring in English. She's very smart. She's doing so good.
Gotcha.
Just look. So 0 unaffiliate, 0 libertarian, 0 green have requested. 51 Republicans and 46 Democrats. It's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
So far today.
Pretty close 50-50.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is 01 the county and 05 one of the minority?
Republican,
No, I mean, the ballot style.
D1 is Democrat.
Oh,
Yeah, D2 is Democrat. Yeah, it's in primary, that's, there's 1 in 11.
I
That's,
went brain dead.
that's the nonpartisan, just in Mount Airy. But no one's requested.
I
it.
went brain dead.
Okay. Also, before we cut the seals on the ballots and the machine, I do have, this is an absentee packet that each voter that requests an absentee ballot, and you see, I've included you all an absentee ballot request form as well, with instructions on the back. That you can take home and take a look at, and then this is how every voter receives their absentee ballot packet, with everything but a ballot, of course. There's no ballot in here. And you will see this form here is new. This is the ID exception form. So either they're putting this in this clear sleeve in the front of the ballot, or they're putting their photocopy of their ID in that clear sleeve. So far, so good. No one's put it in here with the ballot, so.
I like the way you said, so far, so good.
far,
Mhm.
but I do like the yellow, the brightness. It's very clear where action needs to be taken for the voter. And also, you'll see the instructions are very, very thorough, but they're very long. But
Fine print,
they have great photos, and then the common IDs that are acceptable go in there as well. And then they're supposed to put their ballot into this and seal it to mail it. Or the people that have hand delivered it, these have been unsealed, which is acceptable. We can accept this one unsealed. It's this one that we cannot accept unsealed.
And the difference is one is a window envelope and this one is not.
Yes, and this one does not hold the ballot, this one does.
Okay.
And if they do hand deliver it with this sealed, then staff is opening this in front of the voter, checking for the photo ID and the exemption form to make sure it's complete.
Okay.
But that's all, of course. This would never be opened except for under the supervision of the board.
People who have enjoyed just voting absentee in the past, they're gonna say,
ain't worth it.
No way.
heck, I'm just gonna drive over to the church and get this done.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think there'll be more of that. But
I do too.
There will be people that receive it, and then we'll get this package and go, I'm not gonna do that.
Mhm, yeah,
I can see that.
I can too.
But there'll be a lot of ballots that will be spoiled.
Postage is $1.80, what, three? $8, $1.80 something. So it has went up. Of course, postage has went up,
Yeah,
but
went up Monday, didn't it?
that's weight. I mean, that's a lot
yeah.
of,
Yeah.
there's an extra envelope,
Yeah.
there's 3 extra pieces of paper. The
Package.
Yeah.
clear pocket adds, everything is just added weight, so it's. Going up.
If the voter's birthday is 1920, hold that out for me. I want to see it.
Oh, okay, yeah. They'd be getting a medal for being here, wouldn't they?
That's a good citizen.
We didn't make that chart, state did.
Well,
All right,
There'd be somebody close to that, maybe.
maybe.
Are you ready to start the process, ladies and gentlemen?
All right, so we'll need a bipartisan team to check the seals, to verify that the seals, and this is the master log sheet that you'll see numbers already on here and the seals, 3 seals already on it. That was from testing last week. So if you see there was a mistake, then the poll worker would put their initials by if they had to mark through it. Yeah, it's right in the wrong spot, especially the thing that's on this sheet, that they did the whole line, but anyway, they have initial. So you're verifying today the absentee DS 200, which is on the first one? Oh, yeah, top.
Absentee, yeah.
That's today, and then you're just gonna verify that these seals are what they say they are. So we need a bipartisan team. Oh, and I got here the cereal, yeah.
And on the bipartisan teams, there will be enough work to go around that everybody
We'll
will be
take turns.
involved.
Yeah,
Everybody's
we'll take
gonna be left out more than one time.
All right, I'm gonna, so looking at absentee cities to serial numbers, right here, it should be this, right? So that's what, zero, or VS 031933892.
0892.
Yep, and we got that.
I have written it on our absentee meeting log as well. Serial number of absentee.
Perfect. Okay, top seal. 193717. They sealed it up. 193717.
Very good.
Right, and then the emergency bin, absentee, 193727. 193727.
Very good.
All right, and the ballot box store down here. 289948. 289,948.
Big chocolate over there.
All right, and you have those written, or can you?
Or chocolate.
I
Yeah,
wrote,
okay.
prepare the next meeting.
I'm not gonna cut either one of these just unless we need to, but we'll cut the top over the machine.
And that will be the only machine that'll be used to count our
Absentee.
absentees. It comes in through mail.
I'll show you that it has the zero, the zero tape. You all will sign the zero tape.
Now, I'm
found that-
I'm gonna risk having done this before.
We found that some, well, our SST that was here on Friday
Mhm.
at our training, she said, you all remove your zero tape? Yeah, we do. And she said, well, a lot of counties just leave it on there. I said, no, our process has worked great. We remove it, all the judges sign it, and then it goes back into that orange folder that comes back with the chief judge on election night. So, yeah, no, we don't want that on there
I was scared.
hanging out all day. I'm
Pull
afraid
it
it would.
off.
So again, little things like that, each county handles a little bit different.
Or to take the chain of custody as serious as we all do. Why would they not do that?
Well, that, I had said,
And it's
what?
a spot, yeah, if he's been a voter.
Well, we have the judges, the
Oh, it's not
five-person
received.
team and the chief judge sign it immediately. They know, they put it right in that orange folder. And then for, early voting, same thing, they put it in that. Top, it has a public count. Yeah, see that public count, zero,
Zero.
zero.
Print the zero, the configuration for it, the zeros.
So opening count is zero.
Yeah.
Cindy, could you, well, never mind, I got it right here. Got the right seal number on both.
Right, it just says this device is ready to be opened. It's absentee by mail machine, it's plugged in. I'm gonna hit open poll, and that's when zero takes are gonna print. This is the configuration report, this will print every time we open the machine. And it just tells, there's information about the machine, and it also has on here, I think it's a lot, yeah, public count. So we'll also have that each time, it just won't be a, like, full tape. Zero takes are first. So after this meeting, it'll be a much shorter. Just go for now. It'll be 3 copies, so this will take a little bit, you see all the zeros.
It's better than eating grass, ain't it, Brian?
No votes.
Better than eating grass, ain't it?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Other than our LNA tested, and then we
Snowball.
did all those.
You knew that was a bad sign when there was something besides candy, right?
Yeah, I've never seen healthy food here before.
No,
That's last on mine.
I didn't mean that, I meant like additional.
Oh. I've seen
What
healthy
kind of
food.
It's your birthday.
No,
That's right.
It's your birthday.
what's she trying to say, you think, to it?
What are you trying to say?
Now, I did not place it there. Someone else placed it near, closer to you. I didn't
Oh,
do
it's next.
it.
That's our
It was more like
He's
that, I
never seen
think.
healthy food here before.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Listen, Sydney had nothing to do with it.
I did not. I didn't go to the grocery store. I need the nips.
Yeah,
Didn't do
here
it,
she would
did
eat
you,
the
Andrew?
nabs. Yeah.
You didn't put them apples here for us, did you, Andrew? All right.
Oh, we got little Debbie's. I can run across all of this.
All right.
That's a cute video.
Between Lance and Little Debbie, that's the staff of life. You can live forever.
And the ballot duplication box, I will go ahead and open it because we have 2 military to do duplication of. But the next meeting, you all will verify seals. This is the first time we put seals on these. So y'all verify those at the next meeting.
I wonder what they do in Wake and Mecklenburg.
It's 3 copies. so-
Oh, I can not imagine.
A lot of times their
We
have to
meetings,
set it up
they
so when
adjourn
your-
till the next
your tape
morning.
is the same as your,
then adjourn
results,
till the
so
next
your
morning.
copies, because the third
Sometimes
copy, have to
Yeah.
take
They
more
have
for
3-day
the
meetings.
precinct.
Really?
And then
All
two
day?
copies,
And
so
you know, in
that's what we
2020,
do.
we were having 2
Yes,
meetings a
it's lot.
week. So they were meeting every single day for those 2 meetings.
Think what it's gonna be like now with voter ID,
With photo ID, well,
the way the
oh,
supplemental is gonna be.
yeah, it's gonna be a.
I noticed there's one box you can check if you're, what does the FBI doing with those Italian mobsters up in New York? They put them out in the Midwest and give them new name. Said the federal government will not allow me to give my ID or something.
It's only a
I think that's what, For what you call them?
Yeah.
Witness protection, yeah. We'll see if we got any of those floating around.
You
They
can't
check
say,
it.
you can't say it out loud.
Oh,
though,
no, no. I'll just go, ooh.
Cause you're facing the camera now.
I know it.
Before it's just your
I
side.
know it, and I liked it better the other way. Hold on.
Yeah.
I even went
And
back
Barbara
back.
have the best seats.
I even pushed back more.
They, just the back of their head.
My big old fat head, I done seen it up there.
Don't look.
It was only during the last election when I went back and watched one of these days that I discovered that I was bald on top.
You've never seen that before, have you?
Well, I'm tall.
Yeah.
And I looked down on my mirror at the house.
Mirror
when
ain't
I
high
get ready
enough,
this
is
morning, I didn't know.
Y'all know we're still on the public document as we speak, and
People appreciate this.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could go ahead and
They
sing
don't
happy
want people
birthday
to
to
take
Drew.
They don't want people to take themselves too seriously.
is this what you call transparency
That's right.
of hair?
Well, those people that are looking in right now realize that I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, so they don't give you a lot of wiggle room. But Sydney has,
And you can open it up, I just put them all together, so. you
John
know where to
Hunt,
sign.
this is his trick to have it where each place to sign is right there. So,
If he does it, I'll do it that way too.
so
And maybe
he,
you can sign and then open it back. or
yeah,
whatever.
but it's a. you can
That's a
really walk with it.
50-year-old tried and true way.
Hey, his 84th birthday was yesterday.
Do take really.
Really?
84.
84.
And he's still
And
chugging.
he was here 3 days last week testing.
I bet he had a smile on his face too.
He did, pleasant as always. He and his bipartisan partner talk, they chat the entire time. They never are at a loss for words. They-
Really?
Yep. Mhm.
Mr. Hunt.
They've been testing a long time. They did it when it was just 2 of them for a long time.
So all these things in here is when I changed from being William A. Poindexter to Drew Poindexter.
What's A?
Andrew,
Andrew.
William Andrew.
he's WAP, W-A-P. He said that the first time. and I thought, what are you talking about?
Said what?
Yeah.
What's a nice
Stratton's
name?
a sap.
Oh, is he Andrew too?
Yeah,
Sap.
I didn't think of that.
I know one thing, mine will get worse and worse the more I write it, so.
That happens to me, for sure.
When we're doing this, as long as it gets smaller and smaller.
Sydney sometimes forgets that I'm old and have to have these.
You
And
weren't
She
old.
made the
You're making fun of us
seal
that
log
are
there
old.
this morning. I said,
I
I
struggle
had these on. I
to
said, Sydney, I can't see that.
That's
She
your
said, I
money.
can. I said, yeah, but of course you can.
You do realize that at this table, you're the youngest one here.
Just if I stepped over there, I wouldn't be. Mine has got so much worse in the last year. I mean, just
Yeah.
like, boom.
Where'd you get cataracts?
It's
Well,
just the
our
up
son,
close. I can't see anything up close.
our youngest, no, our oldest son is a CPA controller of a
Also,
company.
he's
And
looking at numbers.
his glasses would be Coke
Coke
bottle
bottle.
thick because his is like 2,500. He's had
Yeah.
surgery after surgery. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, but
That's
and he's
his-
got screens this big on his desk.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
mean-
sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Greg is 52. You know Greg?
Show that.
Do you know Greg?
We can cut it.
What is he think?
Yeah, no, let's,
Where does he work? He works for Southland Transport Board.
and do the ballot box too.
They have just an accounting building on the other side of Boonville. Southland's on one side and
Demonstration. versus-
his building, and then he has CPAs under him, but he's the head. He's the controller.
No ballots in either.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and cut it and we'll seal it back the next time. We won't have to cut it.
Y'all can see that it-
Surely the ballot
that
box
is
will be
empty.
sealed. I mean, it won't be full.
By the way, how old are you, Drew, today?
62.
This is the
You're
emergency
62? How old is Tracy?
See, it's just like a little pocket.
38.
Yeah, look, you got that.
She's getting younger.
She's 55.
So I'll just pull it.
No, she will be this year.
She will be this year.
Yeah. in June.
Signature demonstration.
I'll just
the other
say
day for a training, right?
During the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a video, yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
So
So,
sweet.
Okay.
nothing in there.
She's so technical.
See, don't try to be,
We're ready to roll.
no, she'll be,
So I'm going to go to vote for vote.
no, she'll be
now, this is
56.
what the
She's
screen
55
looks like
now,
when
so she'll be
people, you know,
56.
just like if you're on election
Oh,
day
she
or
is.
early vote. So, ready?
28 or 29, so.
Ready to
Rock and roll.
Ready to be
Ready
fed.
to roll,
Now
yeah.
No.
Shelley, you go.
34, so she's 28, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'll start 3 on this side and 4 on this side if you all want to take a look. And then, Clark, I think though you have 2 there that's got paper clips. That was people that brought them in that had them in that envelope, that outer envelope that we opened.
Okay,
I'm just leaving it with it.
all right.
The others are through the mail and they just mailed them that way.
Guess who tried to call me just now, wish me birthday, the fire chief.
Well,
Baby brother.
he loves his big brother.
Ain't that sweet?
That's nice.
He just pinched his head off.
Spoken like a true big brother.
You want to tell them what it is exactly that they're looking for when they view these?
That would be a good idea.
Well,
wouldn't
I
it, Clark?
mean,
I'm
I just-
sorry.
All right.
And also, please look at that and the photo ID. And what y'all are looking at is that it is a person, not a shadow,
Mhm.
that the name on the ID reasonably substantially equivalent to the name on the ballot. And that the areas there on the back of the ballot, the voter signature is there, either the notary signature or the 2 witnesses, and that all that is properly filled out.
I'll leave mine there,
And
Jimmy.
Barbara and Jimmy, that date that you see stamped on the back side of what you're holding,
Yes.
that is when we receive it here. And then the initial at the bottom of our
These
name is
military,
just
aren't
that
they?
it has been entered into the system in the very bottom corner.
Now tell me,
Military.
Oh, okay.
Dwayne,
Military.
these are military.
Those are military.
now tell me again why the significance of the envelopes, the outer envelopes being attached.
It's just the ones that bring them back in that, we're just putting them with it.
Okay, I understand.
So nobody can say that we
I got you. You covering your bases.
did anything that,
I got you.
That one's just so their ID don't have to go to the mail. It's protected. Yeah, there's a bunch of kids. I thought it was over here, but then I realized I shut that door.
there's everything going on.
I'm
There can't be any parking in the parking lot.
sure not, but it's definitely where they pack their kitchen.
I saw kids, and I thought, it sounds like
This
kids.
is when it started, it went around that way.
That's their husband. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we've done run up on stuff. First time.
I know what you're looking at, Dwayne. I thought that first.
Matching up pretty close with what I
Very
thought the
close,
same.
very close. Yes, sir.
Good dressing.
And you are not comparing the signature of the ID though to the signature on the ballot envelope. I do believe all of those were were driver's license, except for one was a non-operator ID.
And you will look each time for the to determine that it's a usable ID.
Correct.
Before it ever comes to,
We're doing that at intake.
right,
If it's not, it will be in a stack for you all to either a cure deficiency
Gotcha.
or a denied or disapprove.
I'm just asking that, so that that's not anything we need to concern ourselves with when it comes to this table.
If so, it'll be a whole stack, but you'll look
Separate.
at everyone
Separate.
separate. Mhm,
It's not in this process, we're doing that.
correct. Because these are all recommend approval.
Just think what they're doing that in Wake, and they got probably hundreds right now. They're
Or more than that.
These are military.
Those two are military. And those will be the two you'll have to duplicate when we open.
That's gotta be, that's close to about for election year, that's close to a regular part-time job for the year.
And if you all pulled this out, they also just included their blank exemption form, just to cover their bases, I guess, so. At first I thought, well, hold on now, why are they doing both? But it was blank. All right, so are y'all good with staff opening?
Yes, yes. With the photo IDs and such, how long do we keep that? We're separating the ballot, want to
Mm-hmm.
read the ballot, but the other information, how long is that kept with?
1 second, and I will tell you that. And of course, the photo ID is confidential and is not subject to public record. The ballot envelope is redacted, but not photo ID. Right, I'll look that up here in just a second.
Apparently, that's
I did read-
separated then, as far as the photo ID and the,
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
I read that somewhere.
Where'd the photo IDs
Yeah, it was in
go?
the numbered memo.
Yeah, I read that.
Where'd they go
I
after
read
we
that
looked at them, you mean?
last
No,
night.
she doesn't.
You putting it under or over? On top, okay.
I'm just looking. at
So
my
much
cherry
new
ones
stuff
in
from
there,
just
since I
last
know
year.
If you want to do these.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect.
Whatever.
Oh, well, you wanna keep, that's that paper clip.
Gotcha.
All right, so we have an R5 ballot and an R9. Do you want to do the bipartisan teams at the same time, or do you want, since we have time, do you want to do?
if we have time, let's do them one at a time.
One at a time,
So we
so-
sort of,
Okay.
everyone can hear, listen, learn, do.
Sounds good.
R9 and, oh, okay, you got the other one.
Y'all about to vote for people you never thought you'd ever vote for. Tell both of you that. Well, I sure have done it too. Just being honest.
I believe it.
But Drew, what are you not gonna do?
Say nothing.
No, nothing.
Can't go yay or nay.
Can't even make a face.
I'm gonna feed the ballots into the DS200. And we're starting on those, which it should just be the 5, because there's the 2 extras.
For right now, anyway.
And we are keeping a log of the ballot stock that we duplicate as well, and it's locked inside of the tote.
You have every redundancy in the world that there could be. Lord have mercy.
You're
I
exactly.
don't know how you could, I don't honestly know how to work, keep up with.
the fire chief there once asked me, says, when it's not an election year, there's nobody over it, is there? I said, no, they said,
It's just-
they
We
just
only
got
work
pop,
2
they
days a
just got
year.
pop stands to sit on. They take all the furniture back.
Empty cocoa box. Yeah,
You need
right.
to shake, Kim, for me.
Well, I'm
That's
so,
what people think.
that's what, a lot of people think that.
And it's another example
Yeah.
that very few people, if any, really know what this department and body does.
No clue.
I mean, he's
No
the fire
idea.
chief of Mayberry. You think he's got some kind of
Oh,
education
sure.
and
sure.
he's been around somewhere.
You
He
should
don't
say,
even know.
go say it just
But
like
he's
y'all.
not been.
Yeah.
Go say it just like y'all.
Yeah.
Only thing y'all do is
Yeah,
when
y'all-
somebody says it's burning,
I said, do y'all use Pepsi or Coke pop stands to sit on?
y'all just when
Neither.
I can see the fire,
Yeah.
licking the rafters, do y'all work? Is that right?
Boys, let's go.
Mm-mm-mm.
Is anybody online, Sydney? Where does it show up there?
Now he's worried.
No, I'm not. I just want
Not
to,
right now, though.
I just,
He's
it'll show up
hoping,
there. It'll be on the corner one.
Well,
he's
no,
hoping that his
don't.
brother's on there.
It don't show up there, but on yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's hoping his brother's watching.
Too fun.
Sydney, there's one more thing we need to do when we get these, is write on the one we received.
Oh, up at the top.
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm. Well, it's right there.
What's their number?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I'm still gonna put it right here.
Just so it stands out.
Yeah, just so it stands out. Okay. Sydney, I'm trying to find the precinct. I'm not seeing that either.
Did you get a birthday cake, Drew?
The precinct?
Not yet.
No, man.
I might have just looked it up. I don't remember. It's on
Dang.
this.
You may be surprised when you get.
Well, that's
On the
right.
envelope?
Yeah.
I hadn't seen one of them since I was 5 years old.
Oh,
Okay, thank you.
I let my boys tell me what they want. And some of them want pies.
Really?
Yeah,
Pies.
Greg does. He always wants 2 chocolate pies, homemade pies.
That's me, chocolate pies.
Yeah.
Don't see
Number
what I
eight.
wants to be left alone. I don't have to go to the hospital for somebody or.
Yeah, I understand that.
All right, so that is the ballot that will be marked.
Mm-hmm.
There's the
And-
envelope. So you're looking at the ballot style matches
Right.
Or 0009.
We use
and
this.
you can. Mhm.
Okay.
And then here's his information if you want to look at it, but this is the ballot that you're going to duplicate. And you see that's the
Mm-hmm.
number,
Mm-hmm.
Elkin precinct. So
Where does it say?
it
Elkin?
doesn't. We just
Okay.
write it in
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Mhm. And actually, you know what? Go ahead, Barbara, and write that out. Just write Elkin out from that one. That'll be fine. And
Okey
we only have a one-sided ballot, so.
Okay, thank
So
you.
everything's just on that page.
Uh-huh.
All righty. President Donald J. Trump,
You're supposed to say it out loud?
sure they can.
Yeah,
House
you
of-
say
House
the
of-
choices out loud.
House of Representatives, Ryan Mayberry. I can say it loud now since they're not marking one at the same time.
Okay.
Ryan can mess them up.
Okay.
North Carolina Governor Mark Robinson. Lieutenant Governor is Jeffrey Elmore. North Carolina Auditor is Charles Dingy. Commissioner of Agriculture is Colby Bear Emmons. North Carolina Insurance Commissioner is C. Robert Brawley. Commissioner of Labor is Luke Farley. Secretary of State Chad Brown. Superintendent of Public Instruction Michelle Mora.
I'll show you on YouTube now. So I started the meeting here.
North Carolina Treasurer, Pilot Mountains on AJ Dow.
That way you can go, people go back and watch whenever they want.
North Carolina Court of Appeals Judge is Chris Freeman.
Like last year, we can still on there and stuff. And they,
And Elkin City Schools, Richard Bruniger.
I started doing them that way on, May 17th, so that far back.
Believe we got it. Good deal.
was that on?
Sure, whenever, I think I have one of those, yeah. on here. And then I did LNA testing too, I live streamed it, our testing on this year. Anybody wanted to watch it all day for 2.5 days.
Something to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll pay attention to that.
We're good.
Is
All right.
Tracy home?
No.
That she's still in with her mother.
Yeah, she's coming up Thursday.
See, you make it.
Even on that email ballot, does it need to still be marked, remarked? properly?
I've known that. I'd asked you what you like. What do you
Y'all do
like?
need to mark through this
Oh, yeah.
and put your initials and date.
Let's- Greg sometimes wants egg custard. And I asked him why. I said, surely you don't want egg custard. He said, Mom, I know that's easier for you. I said, son, it doesn't matter if it's easy or hard.
Today's day.
1:30.
30. Yeah, today is Drew's birthday. How could you forget? What do I do?
Same day Hitler took over Germany. You know that?
Do it.
Same day Hitler took over Chancellor of Germany.
I didn't know that.
And if you will, just write spoiled, just
And
somewhere on
Franklin
that.
Delano
There, yeah.
Roosevelt's birthday.
Sideways or?
It doesn't matter. Just don't do it over the selections. Yeah,
Okay.
just do it. It'll be fine.
Tons of history
Yeah.
related to your birthday.
And the Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated on this day.
Mm.
This was an eventful.
I thought I was meant for great things.
You marked the last one, Barbara. We'll let Clark, Clark, if I get all the numbers.
Goodies off of it.
Yeah. And you'll see R5, and then double check there.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
All right.
And then there's the information on that person.
So, do we say presidential? Or do we
It's
just
okay.
say-
Come on, get
Well,
going.
I know.
Yeah, go
Don't,
ahead.
Just want to be better prepared when it's my turn.
yeah, Virginia Fox. We can talk low, can't we?
And
So-
you, actually, it's better to state the choices.
Just state
in
it
normal
out
voice,
loud.
yeah, because you're
Okay.
not saying the name of the voter. so that's
Mark Robinson.
fine. And if you'll just,
Sam
put
Page.
your approved and your initials right there at the bottom,
Robert
and I
M.
think
Kennedy.
your approved stamps.
You're doing good. Jim Key. Or,
Jim Key.
I don't know if I pronounced that right.
No, it is, I think. I mean, I just, I don't want
E, I don't know. Okay,
See,
and
those
North
will
Carolina
run through,
Commissioner
right?
of Agriculture, Kobe Bear Hammonds.
Since there's not that
And
many.
North
Go
Carolina
ahead and-
Commissioner of Insurance, C. Robert Brawley.
Just wait on that last one there.
The idea of initiative, last year, we got it.
North Carolina Commissioner of Labor, John Hardlater.
Register.
Yeah, I
Register.
think so.
Okay, I can't read. Is that HARD? Is that a I?
I think so.
Artist, you're right. NC Secretary of State, Jesse Thomas. And NC Superintendent of Public Instruction, Michelle Morrow. And North Carolina Treasurer would be Brad Renner. And North Carolina Appeals Judge is Chris Freeman. Surrey County
And
Schools Board of Education, District 1, Dale Badgett. Surrey County Schools Board of Education, District 5, Raleigh Scales.
Oops. I had to do it on the table. Yeah.
Good deal. All right. Guess we gotta not forget to do this time. I knew that a while ago.
You just have to remind me.
Well, and I knew it, I just hadn't done it. See,
We could put Drew's birthday.
thank you, man.
Right, you'll see the public count. That person team wants to check, is 7.
Yep.
Yeah, and we had 7 ballots today, so. We have
Think
reconciled.
we're square.
That's the last. Thank you. Okay.
Gets busy, we'll have all those approved things like Dwayne's, we'll all be hitting approved because there'll be so many of them.
Yep.
And date them.
Yeah.
And initial.
Help
That's
us
where
to
that-
remember
So I don't
to
get out.
do that
Yeah.
That's
if
where
we
that
forget.
one time on a sheet, cover them all. You get to this fall.
Set yourself up.
Huh?
Set yourself up.
What do you? Oh, what do you say? What time? That's time consuming.
You get that folder in there. Oh, those are the easier. If they wanna come up.
What's the
178.
COVID last in 20,
Or
a
this
lot
is
of
the list.
ballots. More
178,
probably usual for
741.
presidential election.
I would think so.
I didn't vote absentee, but I sat and waited and watched till there weren't many people up here voting. I came voted early when I could see that there wasn't anybody much inside.
This is a better room here, like
Ballot box.
through COVID, than
178,
what the one in Mount
742.
Airy.
Mhm.
It's just not as.
It's
open.
not as open, yeah. It isn't. I go to Mount Airy usually.
All right, and we just sealed up these 200, we record the seals, and then she's sealing the ballot box with the duplicates. So if anyone wants to check, or we'll check them next meeting. It should be the same seals this time as open them next meeting. And then the same thing, our public count is 7, so when we open the machine back up, our next meeting should be
Anybody want to look at the seals? That's the time to look at them now, so you'll know that it's the same thing that'll be there.
178, 741. Got 178, 742 and 178, 743. Check it as he walks by.
I think he's on a mission.
He did.
I think he has somewhere he's going.
742 and it should be 43. All right, thank you. Don't this is now. Okay, yeah, that's sort of next picture, yeah.
Okay, so ending count is 7. Ready for see. All right, Dwayne. Let's go and get that. After that time, let's see, photocopy of the photo ID must be retained with the voter's corresponding envelope through at least the end of canvass and the certification of all elections in the county. After that time, for efficiency in responding to public records requests and to reduce the likelihood of a mistaken disclosure, the county board can separate the photocopy of the photo ID from the corresponding envelopes and securely store them in a separate container, so long as the photocopies of the photo ID are still stored in the same secure location as the envelopes.
So you have to retain them.
Yeah, I think so.
I could have swore
Go ahead,
I
Sam.
read that
That's a
it
lot
gave
of
a
storage.
time frame. Photo ID, photocopies and photo ID exception forms are technically separate documents from the absentee ballot envelopes. So each are addressed separately below, even though they are retained with the envelopes. Photo ID photocopies are confidential and should never be provided, and photo ID exception forms may need to be redacted due to confidential information. I still thought I saw a day. I'll look at this more and let you know. 'Cause I'm like you, I thought I read a
Something.
specific time, but we shall see.
We haven't bleached through canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, All right, anything else about absentee? Now that you've done the process, are y'all still good with what you voted on? Because we can always change it.
I think so.
Appropriate.
This was a light one.
This is it.
It's a light one.
This was easy.
The first one.
Yeah,
a
I'm
good
glad it
starter.
was
Yeah, but it's a
easy.
starter, yes.
That first one in 2020, I've never seen anything like it.
Really.
I don't know if we were gonna get home, gonna go home.
Didn't mean to hold it, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That likes my
I
birthday.
think we're going to see something similar as we get closer
Closer.
to November. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
Next on our agenda is tabletop exercise, North Carolina Emergency Management.
Yes, and we did a tabletop exercise in conjunction with North Carolina Emergency Management through the state board last Wednesday afternoon. And we also are so fortunate that
Get a copy of that either.
you
Sorry.
just
Happy birthday.
happy
Did I
birthday
mention-
again.
Did I mention that before?
We left the birthday boy out of everything.
Lighten your
Oh,
I
load.
can't believe y'all did that to
Giving you the
him.
night off.
See,
Yeah,
we're
thank
just
you.
making the work light on you for your birthday.
I appreciate it.
We are very lucky with Byron Isaacs. Byron, we had already, of course, agreed to do this with the state because every county office was supposed to participate. And we're going to have follow-up at the conference with the exercises. But we are very lucky in that Byron Isaacs, who is the emergency management coordinator with the county, he reached out to me, wanted to know if we knew about the tabletop. He wanted to invite us. So he actually came over to our facility and participated for the entire 4 hours, which was a great insight. Andrew is going to present what came out of that and what a good opportunity it was for the three of us and Byron to be in that same room, and the coordination that's going to be ongoing that Andrew will discuss that came out of that is wonderful. And we are very lucky to have that partnership because many counties do not.
Right.
So we are very, very lucky. Because of the nature of these scenarios, it is actually what we would do in these situations. So when Sydney comes back in, I'm gonna get her to pause the recording just because I think that's something that we don't need to share with some protocols of the what ifs. So we will go offline just momentarily while Andrew presents the information. And interestingly enough, Andrew is also enrolled at Western Carolina for obtaining his degree in emergency management.
Oh, okay.
So this definitely spoke to him,
Yeah,
and he killed two birds with one stone because he actually got some homework credit for some of this dual
Good,
project. Sydney, if you'll pause it just for a minute while he presents, because some of this information needs to remain in-house. So.
In case of emergency.
Yeah. So, Andrew, are you going to explain the scenarios? The document you have in front of you, trying to get him a job.
I was gonna, I was
like,
gonna
oh,
ask,
no.
was
Oh,
Andrew being
no.
recruited? And
Very much so.
I had a feeling
I
that.
walked out of the room and it all went down. So I heard.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
Yeah, he got his degree at Western in the same program.
Oh,
so.
okay. Well, that's a compliment anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried. And he's wanting him to come to a conference soon that, again, it would be beneficial.
Yeah,
for us.
it is.
But I told him he can't talk, he can't network.
Right, right. Talk business. don't-
Just, yeah.
Nothing else.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yes, yes, thank you.
We back on, Sydney?
Okay, next on our agenda. Affiliated by petition candidate.
Yes, sir. We have Judy Barham for Mount Airy City School District C. She is an unaffiliated, well, she is now, actually, let me change that. She is now a Republican, but when she filed her petition, she was actually registered unaffiliated. It doesn't matter. Either way, you can run as an unaffiliated candidate by petition. She submitted 3 batches of signatures. And we have the original signature sheets. And then behind the signature sheets, you will see once staff put it into the system, whether they were approved or not approved and the reason why here. So the staff can, or the board can actually look at these, do the logbook this way.
And how many signatures are required?
She needed 109. And that is 1.5% of the Mount Airy City School District voter registration as of January 1st, 2024. And she had a petition total of 167, but 117 we deemed to be qualified.
Okay, so she did exceed the 109.
She did. 117 is what should be on the totals there. She did get them to us timely before the deadline of January 19th at noon. So she met the deadline there as well.
No gray area on that margin between 109 and 117. Okay.
1%. Did you?
1.5
1.5.
of
That
voter
district,
registration.
of that,
Yeah, not District C, but the entire
entire
Mount Airy
district.
City Schools.
Yeah.
Mhm. I think the biggest reason for disapproval was out of district. And a lot of people, Dwayne, I'll use you as an example, a petition went around a lot of Greystone. But Greystone is not in the Mount Airy City School District, but it's in the Mount Airy City District, but not city schools. So
City schools, yeah,
that gets confusing.
it is, yeah, that area.
Yeah. People think, well, if I'm in the city, I'm in city schools. Well, no, that's why we have so many ballot stops. Because we have 3 school systems. Make our life easier to have
Right.
one.
For a lot of reasons.
What was that DH you wrote and read out there?
That's staff's initials who checked them in. That
Red,
one
did-
was Darlene. She just had a red pen. that
Red
day.
just checked the same thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I used to write in my manuals in red, it was a violation. So I kept up with it.
There's one that written in red, and there was a smiley face on the top sheet, and I said, Darlene, was you proud of that one, or what? And she said, what are you talking about? And I
You've
said,
got
"That's
the
a
same
smiley
thing,
face, and she
right?
come over there, and she looked, and I said, well, that's your initials, and she said, it's not a smiley face, that's an 11 with a circle around it. I said, oh, looks like a smiley face to me. So Sydney said, we're gonna have to start buying stickers.
A duplicate.
No, at the bottom, Barbara,
I've
it'll
seen
say batch 1, 2,
Saw
and
that, yeah.
3.
Oh,
And there's 3
okay,
batches.
okay. Let me give you that. piece one.
So you made it round through Greystone.
It definitely made its round through Greystone. Yeah, we have. There was one sheet were they all denied, but the whole sheet, you got that
I
one,
can
didn't
see,
you?
I can follow it right down this one street.
Yes, yes. And Andrew got to the third one, and he was like, oh no, this whole sheet's gonna be denied.
Made it easier.
Yeah. And that is the one instance we can verify signatures. We do have to compare it to what they have in, on their voter registration. And if you all certify this petition tonight, that she will go on to the general election ballot.
Okay.
There is no filing fee, but she would, file, but there is no fee involved because they don't get paid for that.
Or does Surrey?
Surrey does, but it's
Surrey-
minimal.
Uh,
Elkin does not.
Well, Surrey gets
No,
mileage.
they
but
get a fee
They
too.
do?
Mhm.
I always thought
They
they
pay.
didn't.
They pay $24, I think, to file, so that's
Okay,
1% of their
okay,
salary.
okay.
And Elkin does not get paid, so their filing fee is 0 also.
Okay.
Don't mind getting these, or you don't ever mind getting these, but it's a little bit of a challenge when you receive these and it's down at the deadline and it's a countywide deal, aren't they?
We had one individual come and got all the paperwork to Senate. He lived in Surrey, although it was more counties. You can get all your signatures from one county. So I told staff, I said, buckle up. That happens 4%. So that's like 11,000 signatures.
Oh,
And we would be the bulk. And I said, I don't know how it's gonna happen.
I
So
don't know how that would happen either.
we,
You just have to
he
do
still
it.
has time because that's noon by the date of the primary.
So it
But no batches have been.
could
turned
still
in.
happen.
Could still happen, but we've not heard anything else and he's not turning any batches.
Be listed as unaffiliated. Has to be.
Yeah, well, no, he was unaffiliated, but you can be registered with the party and still run unaffiliated competition.
So you'd have to be listed on the ballot as unaffiliated.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
You can be either Democrat or Republican, but still be unaffiliated.
unaffiliated, yeah. There's the smiley face.
Oh.
That's how my kindergarten teacher did it. She didn't put a nose, so I was like, it's a smiley face.
Come on before they were smiley faces.
But you walk 5 miles in the snow to get to school.
Lord, to be as young as you are, Drew.
That's fine, be 62 and still be the baby.
I don't even remember 62. What are you talking? Good Lord. Listen to him. Thank you all. Carolyn will, I know.
Still pretty.
And she, and I appreciate that. Certainly. She's done well, better than I think she anticipated.
That's great.
That's great.
Very good.
We have seen the signatures spread around the table of the unaffiliated candidacy by petition. Ms. Barham,
Era.
what be your pleasure?
Make a motion that we accept it.
We have a motion to accept the
Petitions.
signatures, the petition, candidacy.
I would second on the other end, already there.
Jimmy? Jimmy?
Good.
Jimmy has seconded the motion for the petition of candidacy. Is there any discussion to be held? If not, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? The signatures have been accepted.
In case
The
you
candidacy
agree,
is live and in person.
I got everything to eat over. Smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Beautiful handwriting.
That's the
Okay.
teacher speaking.
It does.
There you go.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I will
That was awesome
notify her
handwriting.
in the morning.
Good deal.
That's okay.
Moving right along. Is there any other business out of your office?
The only other thing, I will text each of you, but everyone is at the Hampton except for Drew. You're at Embassy.
Is that part of his birthday present?
Wait a minute. That's not
It was
fair.
supposed to be Dwayne and Drew, but I think Dwayne is decided he probably needs to sit this one out. And I think he's made the right decision. And so Drew, you the special,
Drew.
happy birthday.
Where's that one at?
It's in with the conference.
Yeah.
It's the same building as the
Yes,
conference.
you
Same
just,
hotel
you
as
got
the
the
conference.
huge breakfast buffet. I mean,
Oh,
it's
yes.
like,
You get the big breakfast.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get the
Drew,
big breakfast.
I'm gonna have
I
breakfast
saw that
with you.
spread.
Is Tracy
Yes.
coming?
It's a
It made
spread.
hours.
We
Hey,
still
guess what? I bet
discussing
they have
that.
cold real milk.
Let's say 'em.
You got
Our
Big
almond
Daddy
milk was
breakfast.
hot.
I'm gonna come have breakfast with you.
As long as the milk don't have clabber on the top. That's all I ask for.
You ever heard of Clabber? Have you heard of
Yes,
Clabber?
I have. I
And
have.
them two have never heard of Clabber. Would you like to?
Well, you,
They're too
Let-
young.
After
let
we
it
get
sit
around a
offline.
while, you'll figure it out.
Wait to
Leave it
explain
out, leave it out a while.
So we're back where we were the last time.
Check-in is 3. Somebody's gonna draw the short straw and check in for Drew because it was a 5-6 hour check-in last time. We hope that's been corrected, but I don't have a lot of faith in.
But Drew, take your time.
Yeah, take your time, Drew. Don't be.
at the
in a hurry.
embassies, it's a later check-in.
No, it's 3, but it was taking them 5 and
Just
6
a
hours
crowd.
to
Well,
get checked in.
Just
There will be
Maybe
some
they've
penalty
corrected
for-
it.
Some penalty for your good accommodation.
I know. Well,
But
that's
you don't
great,
have to,
Drew.
one of us will be checking in.
So I have to stand down there at
No,
the,
we will. One of
Hey.
us will.
oh,
Hey, you know, swap rooms?
Let's make a deal.
Why don't you draw straws?
I sleep you 20 with swap rooms.
understand what's going on.
I can explain it
I
to you
don't know where it's
later.
at.
Listen, Drew
This
don't
is
know how to
really-
act when he's special.
I'll
It's never
explain.
happened before.
I'll explain it later.
You
Happy
get the
birthday
party call
again.
one time, you don't have to move it
Yeah,
unless you want to go up to Hobby Lobby.
Hobby Lobby.
yes, sure he
Will-
would.
Will we be responsible for our transportation over to the embassy?
Well, yeah, I have.
I don't know what I'm looking for.
Another piece
I
of
can't
cake.
ever keep up. with that.
You looking for another piece of cake?
Thank you. I won't go do that. Thank you. Put my glasses on my phone.
Okay. Anything further, Michelle?
No, sir.
You have anything that the board might share or have for the staff or Michelle at this time before we adjourn?
Let me ask one question. Is there any change in the agenda from what you sent out? It was either yesterday or maybe even today. I think yesterday from that last tentative agenda for the conference.
No,
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
it is the same.
Anything further? All right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn,
It is so moved, Mr.
And
Chairman.
I second it.
and we have 3, 4, 5 seconds. Any discussion? None. All those in favor of adjourn